The Trump administration's very bizarre handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case has only raised more questions than it's answered, especially after a new report that says the government released a version of the jail cell video that had a missing minute, despite the fact that they are reportedly in possession of the full unedited tape, meaning they have the missing minute but won't release it. Now, 2 months ago, I will say, I never really thought about this. I trusted the official story. I dismissed any conspiracy theories. But now, I gotta be honest, I'm thinking to myself, is there a conspiracy? I bought a bunch of red string to connect all the players, but it turns out I only need a little tiny piece because my conspiracy board only has the one picture on it. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. Guys, to start off tonight, we have to remember the president is old. It was easy to forget at times because he was often next to someone who was really old. But he's still old, and we should take it easy on him. He's old, he's tired. The man just got back from a golf vacation / personal business trip to Scotland where he was busy doing important presidential stuff like cutting the ribbon for a new golf course with his oblong sons, which just came and went without so much as a peep from the media. Can you imagine the outrage from the right if Barack Obama had started inking TV deals during his presidency? Check out my State of the Union address next month on Netflix. We're calling it the Roast of America. We got special guests Jeff Ross, Nikki Glaser, and Kevin Hart. At least that would be entertaining. By contrast, here's the weird little speech Trump gave right before he cut the ribbon for his new private golf course.
So may God bless everyone here and everyone everywhere. We have a world that's got some conflict, but we've ironed out a lot of it. We're going to have a great and peaceful world, and on a much smaller scale, this will be a tremendously successful place and a place where people can come and enjoy life, and it's very special. So I hope everybody in Scotland and well beyond Scotland enjoys it for many, many years to come.
So inspiring, you know? Reminds me of when Franklin Roosevelt discussed the D-Day invasion while opening his chain of fast food restaurants called FDRBs. Who can forget their stirring slogan, the only thing we have to roast is beef itself? That little Trump commercial was on the official White House live stream. Our government is using our taxpayer dollars to advertise Trump's golf courses. They're not even pretending anymore. There's no separation. Next, they're gonna move the White House Situation Room to the Mar-a-Lago Omelet Bar. So Trump is tired from all his golfing and self-enrichment, which might explain why he was trying so hard not to nod off at a White House event with Dr. Oz yesterday.
The biggest, the best, the willing came forward because of your leadership, because you weren't going to take no for an answer, and they know it. We are building a robust and safe, I emphasize that, safe system. It's going to protect the data better than we could have imagined. We're going to be able to accomplish goals that all of us wished from day one that would be in place. These pledges are now confirmed. They're signed in public. You have therefore empowered Americans.
Hold on, I think I might have to do what my teachers used to do to me in math class. Mr. Trump, care to join us? The Gettysburg Address. I mean, that was very brutal. You know, when he finally opened his eyes, he looked around and thought to himself, I'm still president. I mean, it must be. No one else would give Dr. Oz a job. I mean, can you imagine if Joe Biden did this? Well, anytime he closed his eyes for even a second, Fox News would immediately run a breaking news chyron that said, Joe Biden in coma again. And even when Trump is awake, you can just see his age getting to him. He can't hear or understand reporters' questions anymore. Even when those reporters are trying to tee him up by parroting his own bull back to him.
Kash Patel reportedly found burn bags of Russiagate materials, and we'd love to get your thoughts on that.
He said what?
Burn bags of Russiagate materials that the FBI supposedly found.
I don't know that. I don't know what you mean by that statement. Say it.
Bags full of Russiagate
A
documents.
burn bag. I thought you said appointed a man named Burn Bag.
Oh, dude, don't admit that. Just say I couldn't hear you. Don't tell the world you were off by a country mile. Oh, I thought you were saying the name of a person who has never existed on Earth. Although, in fairness, Burn Bag is the nickname of one of Trump's caddies at his Scottish golf course. My name is Burns, and I'll be carrying your bag. I'll wait in the tall grass for your ball, and then I'll throw it back out to you. That's how confusing Trump's bull conspiracy theories are. When you repeat them back to him, even he can't understand what you're saying. Mr. President, Hillary Clinton colluded with the deep state to delete her emails, just like Hunter hid the laptop from hell because Ukraine invented Russiagate with Obama. Care to comment? I didn't hire anyone named Russiagate. Of course, he might have been thrown for a loop because he's been spending most of his time answering questions about his old pal Jeffrey Epstein. In Scotland, he was asked why he cut ties with Epstein after a 15-year-long relationship, and at first he was coy about it.
What was it about? What caused the breach with him?
That's such old history. Very easy to explain, but I don't want to waste your time by explaining it.
No. Please, my man, waste our time. I love the same guy that gave the speech at the golf course. He's like, I don't want to bore you. When you say something is easy to explain and then immediately refuse to explain it, we can only assume the explanation doesn't make you look very good. Hey, Devin, care to explain why you're 3 hours late for work and you smell like tequila? I don't want to waste your time. Also, I'm gonna need a new company car. And that's what happened when reporters followed up on the flight back from Scotland. Trump dug the hole even deeper by trying to explain what happened.
Were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
He went from, I don't want to say it, to, okay, I'll say it within 10 seconds. If this were one of those British crime thrillers on Netflix, it would last one episode. Welcome to Department Q. We've got a cold case, the Epstein files. We're trying to figure out who did it. Oh, yeah, it was Trump. He just confessed. Who are you? The name's Detective Chief Inspector
Burn bag.
Trump could have just stopped there. He could have just stopped there. But he kept going, and he made it so much worse.
Yes, they were young
Yeah.
women.
What did they do?
In the spa.
Jobs.
In the spa.
Yeah, it's people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa.
Stop talking about the spa. Is it your safe word? You sound like an undercover cop calling for backup on a drug bust. Hey, he's wearing a wire. No, you guys, it's all a misunderstanding. I'm not a cop. I work at the spa. I love to go to the spa. You have such a great spa. Get me out of here! And it's not just Trump who keeps digging a hole for himself. For years, his MAGA base demanded to see everything in the Epstein files, including videotapes.
Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black books? Why have they been hiding it?
That guy is now the deputy director of the FBI. He's a MAGA podcaster named Dan Bongino, which based on his general demeanor is the Italian word that means the opposite of buongiorno. You know, if you want people to have a nice day, you say buongiorno. And if you want them to be angry about everything all the time, you say bongino. Bongino, coincidentally, also what the Italian Sheldon says. I mean, not the best joke, but I think we can all agree that once somebody said it in the room, we were going to say it on TV. You know what I mean? I think for some people, it might be their favorite part of the night, like me. After Bongino became deputy FBI director, he promised that he would stay true to his word and release the video of Epstein's jail cell.
There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this, we are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans.
What do you mean by enhanced? We're going to put it on Blu-ray with special features and DVD commentary. You're going to be able to find it in the Criterion Collection. So the Trump administration went out of its way to release what they said was the full, raw surveillance footage outside Epstein's cell the night he died. Only it turns out it wasn't the full tape.
Wired has had some incredible reporting.
Yeah.
Let me read some of it. The FBI's Jeffrey Epstein prison video had nearly 3 minutes cut. Newly uncovered metadata reveals that nearly 3 minutes of footage were cut from what the U.S. Department of Justice and FBI described as full, raw surveillance video. Wired previously reported that the video had been stitched together in Adobe Premiere Pro from 2 video files, contradicting the Justice Department's claim that it was raw footage.
I thought you said there would be no shenanigans. Now it sounds like the version you released should be called the Epstein Files Oops, All Shenanigans. Now, it's unclear exactly how much time is missing. Some reports say 1 minute, others say 3, but Attorney General Pam Bondi claimed there was a simple explanation.
The video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night.
Okay, well, that makes sense, actually. Wait, sorry, what the are you talking about? The missing minute is on a video from 1999. We're going through all the hits from that year. Runaway Bride, Notting Hill. This is cool. We just rewatched the Blair Witch Project. Stephen Miller's in it. So Bondi claimed it was a technical glitch, but now it turns out that explanation was also suspect.
There's a little more on Epstein, specifically about that missing minute from the surveillance video recorded at the time of Epstein's death in prison in 2019. Apparently, that minute may not be missing after all. The Justice Department reportedly has a copy of the surveillance video recorded at the Manhattan Metropolitan Correctional Center in its entirety.
A review by multiple video forensic experts found several indications this may not be raw footage. At 11:58 p.m., the video suddenly jumps to midnight, and the aspect ratio shifts. A government source familiar with the probe told CBS News the FBI and other agencies are in possession of a copy of the video that records with no interruption.
If there's a missing minute, that there's a lot riding on that, and why wouldn't they release it? It makes you wonder what's in it.
Yeah, yes it does. If you go out of your way to release surveillance footage you claim is full and raw, and then it turns out there's a missing minute, and then it turns out you have that missing minute and you won't release it, people are gonna wanna know what's in it. If you show your spouse a picture on your phone, then you grab it back real fast and swipe through a bunch of other pictures, before you give it back to her, she's gonna wanna know what's on there. But, who knows? Maybe it's nothing. Like, honestly, what could have happened? Who was in charge of the Department of Justice at the time anyway? Oh, okay, it was Trump. This was in 2019 during his first term. All right, well, Epstein was being constantly watched, right? Oh, no, he was alone? Okay. Well, for someone to get to him, a prison guard would have to, I don't know, like fall asleep or something. Oh God, it's all making sense. Do you know what this means? I mean, they must have hired someone to delete the missing minutes, someone who operates in silence, somebody they could trust, not a man with a normal name, a man with a name that implies secrecy. Oh, this sounds like
A man named Burnbag.
For all we know. You guys, for all we know. Old sneaky Burnbag might have been the hitman, too. Oh, no, it's not visiting hours, but I'm old friends with Jeff Epstein. He asked me to bring him some rope. And since it's a surprise, would you mind turning off the camera? This whole thing is a crisis of Trump's making. MAGA styled themselves as crusaders against the elite, but now that they're in power, they're lining up behind an elite. Trump thought he could dodge Epstein questions, but he was wrong. The questions follow him wherever he goes. He's getting hounded by
everyone, everywhere.
This has been A Closer Look.